In this video, we are going to be looking at our reactions type lab. There's a companion handout that goes with it, but we're going to look through each of these reactions and see what results we get. The first experiment, it calls for us to use 5 milliliters of 1 molar hydrochloric acid and add a piece of zinc. So in this test tube, I already have the hydrochloric acid. This is my piece of zinc. And then I'm going to add it to it. And if you can see here, and I'll zoom in a little bit. All right, you can see that the zinc is bubbling and it's producing some kind of a gas in the hydrochloric acid. So those are your observations. Experiment number 2 calls us to use the 5 milliliters of hydrochloric acid in a test tube and to put a piece of magnesium. So I've got my piece of magnesium. I'm going to put it into the test tube. And as you can see, it is bubbling rather violently. So experiment 3 calls for us to take copper sulfate and add a piece of magnesium to it. So I have the copper sulfate in the test tube. You'll notice that it has a blue color to it. And here's my piece of magnesium. And immediately we should see that it starts to bubble. And around that piece of magnesium, you'll see that it got darker, and that's actually copper that is coming onto it. And if we let it react long enough, that solution will actually change color and turn clear. A little more on our magnesium and copper sulfate solution. You can see that it has started to fade in color, and if we let this react all the way out where all the magnesium is gone, that color will be almost completely clear, as the copper is what is the blue in the solution, and as it forms it back into solid copper, that blue color begins to leave. Experiment 4 calls for us to take potassium chromate, which is the yellow solution, and lead nitrate, which is the clear solution in the test tube labeled with the number 1, and to mix those together. So I'm going to pour the lead nitrate first into my beaker here. And then we'll add the potassium chromate. And you can see that it formed a yellow precipitate.